Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Untitled Toy Review. And today so we'll be looking at the 2006 release by ToyBiz of the Marvel Heroes Superhero Showdown action figure review. And today's action figure review, we're looking at the booster pack featuring Punisher. Now I got this straight from eBay and this cost me $14 US, that's not including shipping of course. Now let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging, especially the card itself. Each side of the card featured all or at least majority of the superhero characters. As you can see, all the images are all there, and we have on the top there Spider-Man, the Thing, Elektra, Captain America, Iron Man, and Mr. Fantastic at the bottom. On the other side we have Wolverine, the Hawk, Silver Surfer, Daredevil, Sue Storm, and at the bottom the Human Torch. Now inside the plastic bubble, it's already listed here as well. We have a superposable figure as mentioned down below here, a base stand which is called the power base, a projectile shooter, the missile launcher, and the missile itself, 6 power cards which is located at the back of the figure, and 1 battle towel which is also located at the back of the figure, which is a larger card, and a flight stand. Now at the back portion of the packaging itself, top section there, stated with a smaller write-up, famous characters from the Marvel Universe engage in the ultimate action figure battle. Put your hero in the attack pose of your choice and use unique battle tiles, power cards, projectiles, and a personal attack and defense rating on his base to enact your battles. These powerful elements and your strategy help decide the winner of each battle. And this is how it looks like for the game itself, which I'm not going to go into too much detail of the game because I already explained it in the Ghost Rider review. Of course, the same Superhero Showdown toy line. However, here we have the rest of the toy line itself. We have Doc Ock, Ghost Rider, which I already reviewed, Black Costume Spider-Man, Berserker Wolverine, Punisher, which we're going to review later, Human Torch, Doctor Doom, Spider-Sense Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America. This is all booster packs, singular figure placed on the booster packs itself. However, at the bottom we have the starter packs, which includes 2 figures, Wolverine versus the Hawk and Spider-Man versus the Thing. There's also a few more variations of the starter packs as well. Now without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after reviewing the figure and the rest of the stuff out from the packaging. Now let's take a look at what's been packaged inside the packaging in this section here. We have a small piece of paper on one side detailing, well, a smaller write-up on what the Superhero Showdown is really about. On the other side is a, well, instruction on the rules itself on how to play the game if you want to play the game, if you choose to want to play the game. Then we are given with 6 power cards. On one side of the power card is all in blue background. Top section there we have the Marvel Heroes smaller logo on the top. In the middle section here we have the Superhero Showdown logo, and the bottom section there we have the Upper Deck Entertainment logo. Now we have 6 power cards, which is meant to be played in the game itself, which gives bonus to defense or attack. Here we have Ghost Rider, that gives a +3 defense. We have the Punisher card here that gives +4 to attack. We have Punisher card, another Punisher card with a different artwork, gives you +2 defense. And then we have Doc Ock card that gives you what? Instead of rolling the dice this attack, you are considered to have rolled an 8. Something like that. And we have another Punisher card that gives you +2 attack. And we have the Hawk card that instead of attacking, destroy adjacent panel. If there is a figure there, roll 2 dice. If you roll a 7 or higher, that figure takes 1 hit. Something like that. I'm not going to go too much details with the rules of the games itself, which I already explained in the previous review. Then we have a larger card, but the design is the same for the power cards on one side, of course. On the other side we got a nicer image of the Thing. We're already beaten all the bad guys except there's Black Bolt there, I'm not too sure why. So basically the tile cards are meant to place on the table so the figure can actually stand onto it and gives bonus to, well, depending on what sort of bonus are given from the tile card itself. Now let's take a look at the accessories that came along with the figure. First, we have the base stand. The base stand is typical design, similar design as the ToyBiz Marvel Legends 6-inch figures flight stand, except a little bit smaller. It's meant to fit a 4-inch figure. Plus, then the design is a little bit different for the base. The base is made of a black plastic material color with no paint job at all, and you got a nice little skull there for the Punisher logo. Bottom section there is a sticker label detailing the stats for Punisher: attack 13, defense 10. Here we have the flight stand, which is made of a semi-clear translucent plastic with 2 joints that bends down, back. Same goes on the top, down and back. And every time you try to twist and turn the joints itself, it tends to loosen up. So you have this ball screws here, which you can screw it up to tighten up the joints. Furthermore, because the base stand and the flight stand is a 2 separate pieces, which you need to connect it from the peg here to this section here. And you can turn 360 degrees, of course, depending on how you want to pose the figure. Next, we have the missile launcher. The missile launcher here is made of a black plastic material color, but painted in gunmetal. However, this mold of the missile launcher here is nothing special. Every figure from the superhero Showdown figures are given with the same missile launcher design. Nothing special. So you got a lot of panels on one side, on the other side, but the top section is just bland. So that's the bottom section. You got a button here and there. At the top section we have 2 clip-ons to clip on to the bottom section of the arm of the figure. Here is where you load the missile. And speaking of the missile is made of a yellow plastic material color, shaded with orange paint job, and on the top section there is also painted with orange as well for the flame effect, which I'm not too sure why the Punisher figure is equipped with a missile launcher that fires flames. So all you have to do is just load the missile all the way back. Sometimes it doesn't work with the spring, but most of the time it works. So once it's loaded, press the button and it fires pretty hard. Next, we'll take a look at the Punisher's paint job. The Punisher's body is made entirely of a black plastic material color. However, there's a bit of shading going on for the black section of the body, especially on the legs. Now, you may not see it clearly, but if I bring it closer, you may see there's a bit of shading going on. A little bit of brownish, grayish shading towards at the pants there, a little bit of the arms. But of course, the torso area is painted with the Punisher logo, the skull logo. Back portion is nothing. Here is all clean, but the back portion of the legs here is a little bit of shading there. Now the face paint job is quite nicely done. I really like it. As you can see there. Very nice. The eyebrows are painted in black. Eye pupils are painted in black. The lips is also painted in really dull, very dark, well, not too dark, very dull red there. The flesh tone skin paint job is also nice because it's also some section of the flesh itself is painted a little bit more darker, and other section is just really pale. Speaking of pale, his face does look very pale for some reason. Now let's take a look at the figure's mold. Now the figure's mold is unique to Punisher, as usual, for the ToyBiz version. So this is actually all his body parts, except for one thing. He is extremely skinny. Really skinny, as you can see there. And thanks to the packaging, it's also warped the knees as well. So now he is standing really weird. A little bit of hot water trick can fix the problem a little bit. But he is extremely skinny, and if you compare to a Marvel Universe figure, which is the size proportionate to the body itself, as you can see, somehow the Punisher figure looks like he's a gimp, a very skinny gimp, anorexic gimp there. Now the mold is actually not bad. There's a lot of wrinkles on the pants, kneecap design. You got the Uzi, which is not removable, part of the body itself, which is also disappointing. The Uzi is also molded onto the thigh itself. Details on the Uzi is very nicely done. On the other side, we have the smaller pouch. The belt is also covered with a lot of pouches, back pockets, a little bit of muscles being shown there. The head sculpt, however, is something I really like. I really like the details of the head sculpt. It looks just like in the comics. Very nicely done. Love the details of the facial expression of Frank Castle here. Looks like a man, very angry man. Now let's take a look at the figure's art. The head joint can turn 360 degrees. Torso here can move forward and back. Waist joint here is on the ball joint, can turn 360 degrees and go back a little bit and forward a little bit. Also, the torso can move side to side just a little bit, but it tends to droop down on one side. Shoulder joint here is on the ball joint, so you can move forward, but it's rather tight, back, or go up or down. It tends to pop off from the shoulder joints as well, so the entire ball joint will pop off from the body. So you have to push the ball joint all the way inside. Shoulders here can lift the arms this high and turn 360 degrees. Upper bicep can turn 360 degrees. Double jointed elbow that bends this far. The wrist joint is rather disappointing because it doesn't have a swivel joint, but it can go outwards and inwards. Hip joints, you can move forward, back, and to the sides. You have a swivel thigh joint that turns 360 degrees, which is rather tight for some reason. Double jointed knee that bends this far, and the calf here can turn 360 degrees. But for the other side of the calf itself, the joint is frozen, and when I try to unfreeze it by twisting it, I weaken the joint a little bit, so I don't dare to twist that. Ankle joint, we have a hinge joint that pivots downwards, upwards, and also on the ball joint down there, we can turn 360 degrees or go side to side like so. Very nice. Now, you must be wondering, how tall is this figure anyway? It is actually slightly a bit taller compared to a Marvel Universe figure. And we are having this figure standing on a base stand. We have the base stand. Frank Castle here is absolutely way tall, way more taller. Furthermore, his arms and legs is really weird looking. Now, he does come with a weapon, a missile launcher, but you also must be wondering, can he wield any of the 3¼ inch weapons like the AK-47 and all that from the G.I. Joe toys or any other toys? Yes, he can. We have here is a AK-47 with a different stock, and yes, he can hold them quite well, even with both hands. Very nice. Now Frank Castle is waging war against crime. Now let's plug him at the back of the base stand itself. As you can see, the knee joint there looks really weird. Let's give him back his normal weapons. Well, normal weapon at least. It's a bit too loose, so I have to clip in. There you go. Overall, the figure is not really that great. First off, the arms and legs is way too skinny. Way too skinny. It looks really weird. It looks like an anorexic of a Frank Castle. And the joints is a little bit of a pain at times because the ball joints tend to pop off from the body quite often, especially on the shoulders or the hip joints. And then when you have to contend on dealing with the frozen joints, you have to be extra careful because due to the size of the figure, you have to be extra careful on unfreezing them. Furthermore, why give Frank Castle with a missile launcher anyway? Can't they just give us a normal accessory? I mean, you already molded a Uzi on his one tie here, why can't you just give him an Uzi again? But then again, this is part of the superhero showdown line, so every figure has to have a missile launcher for some reason. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of this, not my favorite of all the 3.25-inch Frank Castle Punisher figure. I really love the head sculpt, I just don't like the body. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of this, I'm just gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Yes, 4 out of 10 for the Marvel Heroes Superhero Showdown of the Punisher figure. Yes, I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.